What's up, Notjust developers? Welcome back to a new live stream, and today we're gonna build a full-fledged Discord clone application with React Native and Stream Chat SDK. This is going to be a tutorial for beginners, so if you're just getting started with React Native, you're gonna manage to build it by then because I show you step by step everything what we have to do. And by the end of this video, you're gonna have your first project built with React Native, which is gonna be a huge project, you're gonna see. So first of all, what exactly we're gonna build today? We're gonna start by implementing the login screen to let people log in our application. Then we're gonna implement the side menu that will display a list of channels where you can chat with your friends. Then we're gonna build the screen where you will actually chat with your friends. You'll see the list of messages. And the cool part about this is that it will support a lot of features that you would expect from a top and high level chatting application, such as reactions, replies, threads, copying, sending images, files, sending URLs and having them as a preview in your chat, and a lot more features that we're gonna get from Stream Chat SDK. So this video is sponsored by Stream. Stream is providing chatting and feed solutions that we can use to easily build these systems like chatting and activity feeds in our applications, without having to invest like half a year or even more into building your own infrastructure. I have worked with Stream in the past, and it's really easy to implement chatting. I had a great experience with them. Like the documentation is very well written and very understandable. And in general, like using Stream is quite simple, and it gives us a lot of possibilities. You can get a free account on Stream for 30 days. And also you can apply for the maker account, which will give you a free account if you meet the requirements. So basically, if your company or startup is making less than 10,000 a month, if I'm not mistaken, then Stream is completely free for you. So follow the link in the description below, join Stream, create an account, and soon we're gonna get started implementing our Discord clone with Stream. Thanks again, Stream, for sponsoring this video, and then we can get started. If you want to follow along this tutorial, which I always highly encourage to actually start building alongside with me in order to better learn and these concepts, then you will need a couple of things as a prerequisite. So first of all, the asset bundle that I have prepared for you, it includes a couple of screens and a couple of components that we will need throughout this video. So you can get them at assets.notjust.dev. It's actually not chat. Why did I? It's not chat, it's Discord. So /Discord and download your asset bundle. You'll also need the Expo environment set up because we were gonna use Expo in order to easier get started and have some things pre-installed, and also to be able to test it with everyone at the end of this stream. We have a video about setting up your Expo environment, so if you don't have that already, check out this URL. And yeah, you'll need a Stream account, which is 30 days, has a 30 days free trial, and you can sign up following this URL or the URL in the description. So without further ado, let's jump into it and let's start coding. Where is my intro? Here. All right, hello everyone. I missed you so much. I haven't done a live stream previous week, so yeah, it's very exciting. Hello Paul, hello everyone, Can. All right. Mohammed, I really like your build and it really helped me build my apps and still learn, but I get some offers because I follow your builds, so thank you. That's awesome. Thank you very much for appreciating my work. So guys, let's get started because we have quite a lot of things to do today. And our first thing is to start by initializing our Expo project. And we're gonna do that by running expo init, messing up with my mouse. But yeah, we need to run expo init, the name of our project, and we're gonna choose that tabs template for that. So let's do just that. I'm gonna open a terminal. And from here, we can do expo init discord -t tabs. Let's open until it downloads the template and it initializes our project. Cybercode waiting. I really like your videos, but it's hard for us with TypeScript. Can you make it with JavaScript? This exactly template that we are going to use, the one with the tabs, is coming with TypeScript, but we're not going to focus a lot on the TypeScript in this video. So if you don't know TypeScript, just write the JavaScript that you know, except like defining the types, and that's the same thing as doing it with TypeScript. Make a video on how to upload these apps on server to you. We have 2 videos of this regarding deploying your application to Play Market and one for App Store. So check out on the channel for these videos that you are requesting. All right, so after the project is initialized, let's do cd inside it, cd discord, and then let's open it in Visual Studio Code. I'm gonna do that by running code and dot to open this directory in Visual Studio Code, or alternatively, you can just simply open Visual Studio Code or your editor of choice and open the folder that Expo generated for us. So let me make it a bit bigger. I'm gonna need it like this. So first things first, let's run our project and see what we have to work with. To run it, let's run npm start. This will start our development server, and our development server will be opened in a Windows browser, the development tools, from where we can run our application on our simulators, device emulators. We can also see the logs here. It's a very useful tool. So from here, I'm going to run it on iOS simulator. In your case, if you're working on Windows, you can run it on Android device or emulator. Or alternatively, you can also run it directly on your phone, on your physical phone, if your system does not support emulators. You will download the Expo Go application from Market, both on Apple and on Android, and then you'll scan this QR code with your mobile phone, and it will automatically open the project there. With the same method, at the end of the video, I'm gonna switch to the tunnel connection so that everyone that is watching right now can join the application and can start chatting right away without having to download anything. So prepare your Expo Go application on the mobile, and once we are done, I'm gonna give you access to our application that we are building today. Why Expo and not React Native? Mostly because of this specific reason, to be able to easily share the application with you and to interact everyone in the same application at the same time. And also, yeah, because it's much easier to get started and to install dependencies. So here we have our application. Let me make it probably a bit bigger. I will need to do it like this. Okay. Here we go. I think that's good. So what do we have here? We have simple 2 tabs in our application. Tab 1 and we can switch to the tab 2 here. Awesome, very simple, very basic, but it gives us, this template gives us a lot of pre-installed libraries that we don't need to waste time installing, such as navigation, animated, reanimated, and other libraries that we will need in this tutorial. Okay, so we initialize the project, we open it in Visual Studio Code, we started the development server, and we run it on our device or emulator. So, yep, that's it. Let's have a quick look at the things, the project structure that we have. I hope you can see it. The entry point of our application is the file app.tsx. This is an important file because we know that everything starts from here. It's a simple React component that renders our navigation. Our navigation component is in the navigation folder. And here we will also work in this folder to set up some of our navigation for the application. The screens that we render here all live in the screens directory. Here we have a model screen that we can access by pressing on this one, and other screens. The thing is that I don't need the model screen, so we can start cleaning a bit our application. So let's start by model screen. Tab 1 and tab 2, probably I'm gonna delete them a bit later. From navigation index, I don't have this model screen, so I'll remove the import. And where we have here the model screen, I'm gonna remove the whole stack.group. Okay. Another thing that I like to do when starting a project is creating the src directory that will keep all of our source code. So let me just do it right away here, src, because it's going to be much easier to navigate through your code, because you know that everything that you write is here in this folder. And everything that is related to configuration or stuff like that, they are in the root directory or our directory here. So in our src, I'm going to move screens, move. Update imports for screens, yes, this is important. Then also navigation, I'm going to move to src, yes, update. What else? Hooks we have. Yes, constants, yep. Components. This is a folder that will keep all the reusable components of our application. Yes. And probably that's it. Yes. Now, in src is all our source code, and we will work with them later. What's happening here with my application? Probably I'm gonna have to restart the development server. So let's open the terminal, and from here let's do Command C or Control C to stop the server, and do npm start again. Now let's run it again on our device. Cannot resolve modules assets. I think it's because we moved a couple of things, but where is it coming from? It's coming from hooks use cached resources. So hooks used cached resources. Here the import, no, actually this import was messed up, and we need to add slash and double dots again to move one directory up. Save. Yes, everything is working perfectly. All right, so let's go to the next step. And our next step, where is it? Come on. Here it is to install Stream Chat SDK. But before that, let's first create our Stream Chat account and create our application. So to create an account, let's go to getstream.io. And here we can, I already have an account and I already registered, but you can create an account for free by signing up with GitHub. You can continue with GitHub, or you can sign up with your email. Nothing complicated there. And after that, but actually, let me also do that so that we all follow the same steps. Let me log out from this account. My account, log out. And let's go here. Okay, here, very weird, like the don't have an account sign up was missing for me. So I'm gonna do it with my notjust.dev, Vadim, and the password, yeah. A user with that username already exists, so not just Vadim. Get started. And right away, we are redirected to our dashboard. And Stream automatically created for us a project with a name, with the same name as our account name. So this project, we can go here, and what we'll have to do is to edit this project, because I want to move it to development environment, not to the production. So let's select development, save application. And now I see it as the development application. All right, perfect. So the next steps, as I said, is to get started and install all the dependencies, all the libraries that we will need. You can follow the documentation here on their website. So let me open it up. Stream Chat SDK provides library for both React Native, like bare React Native CLI, and also for Expo. So we can scroll down a bit until we see Expo installation. And for Expo, what we have to do is just these 2 lines. And for React Native, as you can see, there are a little bit more steps. That's why I chose to work with Expo for this project. So let's first of all install the Stream Chat-Expo. Okay, I'm gonna open a new terminal by pressing on this plus sign. And let's run expo install Stream Chat Expo. After that is done, we need to install other peer dependencies of Stream Chat SDK that the library depends on. And here are the list of them, like the React Native Community Blur, the camera roll, for example, document picker, in order to give you possibility to pick a document and send it in the chat, the image crop picker, the image resizer, reanimated, and so on. These are all dependencies that improve the user experience of our application. So to do that, again, scroll back, let's copy expo install, and here are all the libraries that we need. And let's paste them in our application, in our terminal. Enter. And after that is done, we are mostly done. the thing is that we need to take a couple more additional steps. Under Expo documentation, they are not listed, but if you scroll a bit up, here are the additional steps that we need to take for the dependencies that we installed. So for example, if I go to the React Native Reanimated, if I press on this one, let's see, installation, and I'm gonna look at the where, yeah, like from this documentation, what I need is to set the React Native Reanimated plugin in our babel.config.js, because without this, we're gonna have troubles and we're gonna receive some errors. So let's open babel.config, and here under presets, let's add the plugins. And here the plugin for React Native Reanimated plugin. That's it with React Reanimated. Everything else is actually for React Native CLI, but we are using Expo, so we need only this small step. And another thing that we need to take an extra step is, for example, React Native gesture handler. For this, the step is just to import the gesture handler in our application, like this, just simply importing it. And we have to do that in app.tsx. This is important, and is important because in a lot of scenarios, by not importing this, everything is gonna work fine, and you will think that everything is perfect. But in some scenario, especially in production and on some devices, by not importing this in your app.tsx, it will crash the application. So make sure to follow this step. For the other things, I'm not sure if we need to take any other steps because I didn't receive any issues with them. So I would assume that we don't. But like before publishing your application to production, double check if you need to take any extra steps for these libraries. Yeah, actually we need to check that, for example, Expo document picker, if we want to look at the installation guide and if there is any other installation, only this one. Yeah, that's it for this one. Let's double check this one. Installation. Yep. All right, so let's move to the next step. Where is my presentation? Here we go. So after installing everything, our next step will be to create our client. And the client is a way to initialize your Stream Chat SDK by providing your API key. This way, Stream Chat SDK knows with which project it should communicate and get data from. We're going to initialize the client in our app.tsx. And actually, in the beginning, we're going to work here in app.tsx. And in the second part of the video, we're going to move everything to the separate screens after we understood everything how Stream is actually working. So before defining our component here, let's initialize our client. For that, we will need to import Stream Chat from Stream Chat. Not from streamchat.expo, but from Stream Chat, because, So the API key, I'm going to define also here, API key equal to a string. Where do we get our API key from? We get it from the dashboard on our Expo. So open up your Expo project. I'm going to go to the dashboard, and right away here we see key. If you open the project, the key will be, let's see here, app access key. So I copied it, and let me simply paste it here. Save. Let's double check our logs to make sure that we don't have any errors so far. And to check the logs for this specific device, we need to select it from the left side menu here. So I'm gonna clear everything and I'm gonna reload. I don't see any errors, which means that we initialized the client successfully. A couple of things about this streamchat.get instance is that the first time you call this function get instance, it will create the client and the connection with the server. However, the second time in your application where you call this streamchat get instance, it's not gonna recreate the client, it's just gonna return you the existing client. And by doing that, this is completely safe and you are not creating more connections or you don't have any memory leaks. So it is safe to do streamchat get instance multiple times in your application. Because yeah, behind the scenes it uses a singleton pattern, but that's like extra detail that you don't need to know. Okay, so once we have our client, we can move to the next step. And to the next step will require some configuration, because our next step is to connect a user with StreamChat SDK. Because we are developing this application for development and we are not going to connect it with our own backend, we are going to generate our tokens for the users on the front end as developer tokens. So this is only for testing purposes and to learn how it works. But in order to use these developer tokens, we need to disable the token validation on our project. So let's go to our dashboard on Stream. Let's select our application. From the chat drop down here on top, let's go to the overview, right? Not overview. Let's go to the usage. Why my chat is no longer active? My plan. I think I logged in my existing account. Do you think that's the case? Let me quickly try to log in the same account. And I'm gonna have to simply create a new application, and the application name will be Discord. Discord feeds server location. For the location of the server here, like I'm gonna choose US, data storage location US, clone existing application no, for environment development, and let's create the application. App with this name already exists. Did I make it? Probably. Discord clone. Okay, and for the chat's overview, all right. The only thing that I will have to do is to get the new API key for this application. You don't have to do that, of course. So, dashboard, Discord clone, let me copy it. I'm gonna paste it by new API key. And now the step that I was talking about to disable the auth checks, let's select our project and from the chat go to overview. Now let's scroll down until we see the authentication. In the authentication, let's disable authentication checks and let's press save. This will give us the possibility to work with development tokens that we will generate on the front end. More on that like in a moment. Once we have disabled the authentication checks, our next step is to connect a user with Stream SDK. A simplest way to connect a user, actually it's the only way to connect a user, but it's actually simple. That's why, we do client.connect user. We provide an object that defines the user having like an ID, name, and an image. And after that, we provide here the token that at the moment we are generating on the front end. So let's get this code. to connect our user. And where are we going to create the user? Well, we need to create the user to connect the user when the application loads, right? So to do that, to do an action when the component, in this case, our application component, loads or is mounted, we are using a use effect hook, use effect, and use effect. And very important, the use effect should have an empty dependency list with empty array at the end in order to make sure that this function inside the use effect is being called only once when the component mounts. Without the empty dependency array, the use effect will be called every time the component renders. And that's not very good for our use case, because in comparison, I'm gonna explain that later. Let me not confuse you for the moment. Let's define a function here, const connect user. By the way, use effect was imported automatically from React. Now, our connect user is going to be an async function. And here we are gonna do the actual connection with stream chat. Now, this connect user, we simply call it inside our use effect, and is going to be called when the component mounts. Now, in this connect user, we are going to take the client and we're going to say connect user. Connect user. Now, as I said, the first parameter is the data about the user. For example, ID. For the ID, let's say Vadim. For the name or full name, let me double check. It's just name. Vadim. And for the image, I don't know. I'm gonna grab some. I'm gonna take it this one from the documentation. No, actually, let me be perfectionist and get my picture. All right, and everything is red because we are still missing the second parameter. And the second parameter here is the token. So what is this token about? Well, imagine in a real world scenario, your user will most probably have to log in your application, and you do this login with either your custom backend or with some other backends like Amplify or Firebase or any other solution. When you log in that user, you get back a token that is unique to that user, a token that links to the user. Now, in a real world scenario, you're gonna do here sign in with your backend and get the user token. Then this token you would send here as the second parameter. This way you know that you have linked your database user with a Stream Chat SDK user. So it's going to be much easier to query or to search for users or to, in general, manipulate users when you have to combine what Stream Chat is providing with what your application is doing unrelated to the chatting functionalities. So because we do not have a backend to sign in with, we are going to generate a development token with dev token, and here we're going to provide a user ID. So the user ID is Vadim, like this. What else do we have to do? We will have to await this function call because connect user is asynchronous. It has to do some requests to the servers. That's why we have to await it. Yeah, and other than that, that's it. So now if I refresh the page, nothing is happening. in Expo, I don't see any errors. These are old errors. If I'm gonna refresh. However, if I go to our Stream Chat dashboard, and if I go to the chat, not overview, but Explorer, here I see my users. And we see two users. One of them, notjust.dev, is the admin user that I'm using on the dashboard. As you can see here, role admin. But the second one is the user that I just connected with. And what StreamChat is doing is, first of all, checking if this user exists. Then it connects with an existing user. If it doesn't exist, it will create a new one. So it's if I refresh the application, StreamChat will not generate a new user. And if I change the ID here to, I don't know, test, save, and refresh my application, then in our dashboard, we're gonna see our newly created user test. Perfect. That's how easy and simple it is to create and connect a user to StreamChat SDK. How is it going so far, guys? Is everything clear? Do you have any questions related to the project? Where is Lucas? Lucas is actually going through COVID, so he's already better, but he doesn't have a voice. So he's gonna be back soon. And yeah, we all wish Lucas to recover faster. We all miss him. Ada, wait, yes, thank you very much. I saw that. What features will this have? Well, it will have almost all the features that you would expect in a chatting messaging application. Like message replies, messaging privately, messaging in a group, reaction to messages, GIFs, and everything is gonna happen in this video, in today's video. So stay tuned by the end of this video to see everything in action. The good thing is that at the end of this video, we are all here that are live, are going to test this application and chat with each other there to see if it's working. All right, so we connected the user. Now the next step is creating a channel. A channel for StreamChat is the middle, like the middle piece that connects everything else together, because the channel is this chat room that users are joining and they are messaging in. So let's start by simply creating a channel. Like simply creating a channel using client.channel. Here we need to provide the type of a channel. There are multiple types of channels. I can talk about that in a moment. Then we give the ID of a channel here as the second parameter. And the third parameter is the options of a channel, where we can specify, for example, the name. After that, we can simply call channel.create to create this channel. So let me quickly grab it here. And where I'm going to do it? I'm going to do it after connecting the user. Create a channel. Okay, I'm going to have to replace a couple of things here. And if I refresh, nothing happens. But if I go to our dashboard and if I check channels right now, I see the general channel with the type team. If I go to the getStream documentation and I search channel types, 1 second to find it. Channel. Oh, here it is. So there are 4 types of channel types, or 5. Yeah, 5. commerce, gaming, live stream, messaging, and team. And what this channel type means is a set of configuration that Stream Chat provides you by default. You can, however, create any other channel type that you need specifically for your use case with your custom settings if none of these are working for you. But these are providing good enough functionality. I mean settings, because functionality is the same across any channel type, but in terms of settings they are different. So if you're building an e-commerce application and you want to provide a way that your customer reach out to you and message you, then you choose the commerce channel type because it is optimized specifically for that. The gaming channel type is good for in-game chats, where you can chat globally or privately. The live stream is a very good channel type if you're building a live streaming solution. For example, I don't know, let's say this chat that you are communicating right now live on YouTube. This type of chatting are perfect for live stream because it gives you possibility to join and to see messages without being logged in. Messaging is very well for one-on-one messaging and also for group messaging, like think about WhatsApp, Messenger, Telegram, or any other messaging application. And team is the chat that is designed for, well, think about Slack or Discord, where you group everything into smaller channels, you add people there, and you can also message privately. I think that the best way to showcase to see these differences is to check out their demos. So let me go on their website, and here if I do, where is demo? Chat demos. So here you see a social media application where you can talk with people. Team collaboration, very similar to Slack type. You have like channels where you can write, you can see replies, and so on. You have a live stream gaming. This is well like for this scenario. All of these are powered by Stream, by the way. And yeah, virtual eventing and other types of use cases. That's why in our case I chose team. If you look at the channel general here, you see that by providing this type, a lot of things here are configured. So like, I don't know, typing events. If you want your channels to have typing events, for example, for a one-on-one messaging application, that's a good setting. But for a live stream, that's not good, because if thousands of people are typing at the same time, you don't want to see like typing event like for all of them, and so on. Like there are, as you can see, millions of options that all adjust some functionalities of our application. We're gonna see that a bit later, but now we are done with configuring everything, and it is time to implement the UI components. And this is what I really love about Stream. Like they provide ready to be used and components that are ready for a lot of frameworks, but I'm happy that they are providing it for React Native. And with these components, it's super simple to implement everything. But let me, instead of talking about that, let me show you. So in terms of UI components, we start with the overlay provider. This component is, if you want to know more about why we need it, it is used for things that overlay on top of your application, like reactions overlays, similar to what we saw in some of these slides. Like this reactions overlay, they are managed by this overlay provider. Or full screen image viewer, or attachment picker, and any other features that Stream depends on to display something on top. So to use the overlay provider, we will wrap our whole application or most of our application, for example, our navigation, inside our overlay provider. To get it, we're gonna import it not from Stream Chat. Now we're gonna import it from Stream Chat Expo, because this is a UI component. It's not part of a core library. So overlay provider from Stream Chat Expo. Hey Faisal, thank you very much for the donation. That's very generous of you. How are you doing? Is it possible to combine both TypeScript and JavaScript as one project? Yes, it's possible, because TypeScript is nothing else than JavaScript with types. So if you write JavaScript, that's basically a valid TypeScript without types. Not sure if that makes sense. But yeah, like you can properly write, you can write, for example, const A, and that's it. This is JavaScript. Or you can say const A is a string and is equal to this, or B here. So this is JavaScript, this is TypeScript because you specified the type. But both of them will work in the context of TypeScript. The only thing is that TypeScript will complain that you didn't specify the type, but you can kind of safely ignore those errors if you're still learning and getting there. Right, so as I was saying, overlay provided, we import from Stream Chat Expo, and we wrap our navigation container in this overlay provider. Come on. Overlay provider. We do it like this, and so. Now, everything in our navigation, which contains our screens, will be a child or a grandchild, a descendant of the overlay provider. Perfect. Let's move to the next component. The next component is the chat component, and this component provides the context for the chat. So the thing is that Stream Chat works a lot with and depends a lot on contexts. It leverages context in order to have less prop drilling problem of sending like messages or clients all the way down to where you actually need it. And for that reason, they are designed to rely a lot on context. So these components that we are doing are simply behind the scenes context filled with data that Stream Chat depends on. For example, this chat will contain specifically the connection with the client. The thing is that, yeah, like you can either wrap your whole application with the chat component. This is, yeah, like if your application is mainly the chat, or as an alternative, you can wrap only the chat screen with this chat component. For example, if your application is not mainly about chatting, for example, you have an e-commerce application, you don't need to wrap your whole application with a chat, because from 100 users, maybe only 5 will use the chat to contact you. And by wrapping the whole application with a chat will mean that all 100 users will get a connection with the server, even though they don't need that. So yeah, for our application, because it's mainly everything in our application is about chatting, I'm gonna simply wrap my whole application with the chat component. So let's import it from the same Stream Chat Expo. Let's import chat. And under the overlay provider, I'm going to wrap my navigation with the chat. The chat component has a required property. I'm gonna do it like this because it bothers me. It has a required property for our client. So for the client, we're gonna take this client that we created on top, and I'm gonna send it to our chat. Stream Chat Expo index which threw error requiring monod modules. Reanimated to fail to create worklet. Yes, this is the error that I was talking about. I'm very happy that we got this error, and usually that means that we didn't set up correctly reanimated to. And usually that means that we forgot to add the Babel plugin. The thing is that we added the Babel plugin, but we still get the error. How to solve that is to restart and clear the cache of our server. So let's go back to where our server is opened. Let's close it. And let's do npm start -- clear. This will open the development server, but will clear all the cache, will rebuild the application once again, and we will get rid of that reanimated issue. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Universe Code. How are you doing, guys? Why is it not opening? Come on, come on. Please suggest React Native Basics websites for beginner. I have created a lot of content around React Native, and I always try to make it as easy as possible to get started with my project build tutorials. So I highly encourage you to start from here, start by actually building project alongside with me, and to improve your skills, just implement some extra features in the project that you're building with me. A good starting point would be the Tesla clone that we have on our channel. It's super beginner friendly. I kept it very, very simple, but in that video, like in, I think 1 hour, you are building the Tesla website in an application, basically. So check it out. Okay, back to our application. Our application is running and I don't see any errors. Perfect. Okay, so that's it about the chat component. Let's move on. The next component is the chat list component, and we use this component in order to display a list of channels. Okay, how do we do that? Let's import from Stream Chat Expo the component channel list. Now, instead of rendering the navigation here, I'm gonna comment it out because I want to work here in app.tsx so that you can see everything, how it puts together. After that, we're gonna complicate ourselves with navigation. Now here, I just simply do channel list, save, and that's it. We have it. We have here, I see there like the general on top. Don't worry about the channel being displayed underneath the notch because it's going to be fixed when we implement the actual navigation. The good thing is that, yeah, like we see the channel created, and if I go to where we have it, here in the channels, I can easily create other channels. I don't know, memes, channel type, team, create. Then I can create another one, I don't know, help, team, create. Now if I'm gonna refresh the page, waiting it to refresh, but I'm gonna try to restart it. Very nice loading animations right out of the box. Oh, right, we are getting into this error. So what is happening here? We get into this loop of endless loading, but it's not always happening. Like sometimes where we can be lucky to see it. The thing is that why is it happening? It's happening because we render the channel list before connecting the user. And this way, StreamChat SDK doesn't know which user is connected and tries to load the channel list and goes into an error. To solve that, I'm going to have a simple state variable. I'm going to define it using the useState hook from React. A simple flag that will indicate if loading finished or if the user is connected or not. So let's have it like is ready, set is ready, use state, and initially it's not going to be ready. After we connect the user, we can set is ready to true. Now let's prevent reaching here. Let's prevent displaying the channel list if the is ready is false. Basically, if a user is not yet connected. How to do that? We will add the condition here. So if is loading completed or if is not ready yet is ready, then return nothing. Only get here when is loading is complete and is ready is true. Save. What's happening? Set is ready doesn't like it. Yeah, I have here double dots. Reload. Blah 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 car clone. That's interesting. Error loading channel list. Error loading channel list. Well, let's comment out creating the channel because we needed that only once to see how to create a channel, but now we don't need to create it every time we open the application. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, again, I want to see exactly the problem. Is true, is set is ready. Okay, query channels fail with error. To channel match your query but cannot be returned because you don't have access to them. Did you forget to include members in? Okay, that's interesting. So the thing is that I have created this help channel and memes channel, but my user is not part of the members of this channel. So I can simply, at the moment, I probably will simply add them here. Add new channel member. I need the user ID. So my user ID is Vadim. And the same thing with this one. Add channel member. And we can talk about that issue later, how to properly filter and see only the channels that you are part of. Okay, so members. Okay, we are here, but this one we don't need to yeah. So if I refresh now, I am part of all of the channels and I see them and I don't have that issue that we had. Awesome. So we can clear the errors. If I refresh, everything is working fine. So as you can see, the channel list, the chat list component displays a list of channels that you are part of. That's good. What are our next steps? The next steps is to use the channel component. And why do we need it? So basically, whenever I press on this channel, I want to open the channel in a new page and be able to chat with everyone that is part of this channel. For that, we need to add a couple of components. The first one is the channel. And for the channel, we need to provide a property channel that we want to render. Why my keyboard disconnected? But before working with the channel, let's see how we can get the channel on which we are clicking. So if I click on the general, I want to go to the general channel. Well, the channel list has a property called onSelect. On channel select. Let's implement this function and see what do we have there. On channel select. This function, this callback function onSelect will give us the channel that was selected. And you can easily console log and see all the details that there are about the channel itself. So if I go here and if I press on the general, why didn't refresh? General, I see here all the information about channel, but just what we are interested in is probably the name, but I also cannot find name, help. Is it this one? Name. Well, it's a lot of data. I will get lost into it, but the thing is that we do not need to work a lot with this data. The only thing that we need to keep track is to keep track of what is the selected channel that we clicked on. To do that, I'm going to need another state variable, selected channel, and set selected channel. Use state. Initially is going to be null. Now, in the onChannel select, I can simply call set selected channel, set selected channel with the channel that we have selected. Now we set it in state, but we need to do something with this. What we are gonna do? Well, we will conditionally render either the channel list if we don't have a selected channel to be able to choose one, but after choosing one, and if we have this selected channel defined, then we want to display the channel itself that is selected. So to do that, let's add this conditional here. So if selected channel is null, I have a negation here, question mark, then I want to render the channel list. Otherwise, double dots, I want to render the channel component that was automatically or not imported from StreamChat Expo channel. This channel component needs a property called channel, and we are gonna send here selected channel to know what actual channel to display here. All right, now if I press on one, I see an empty screen because this channel only provides context. It does not provide any UI. For the UI, we have our stuff, but before getting into that, I want to add a way for us to go back and to the channel list. How do we go back to the channel list? Basically, we have to make this selected channel null again so that it will render the channel list. I'm gonna simply do a text go back. It's gonna have on press. I need to import it from React Native. Do we have React Native here? I don't know, import come on, import text from React Native. Now on press, did we say that we want to do when we press on this go back? I'm getting lost here. I don't need this one. When we press on the go back, we want to simply set selected channel. Are you using Expo or be React Native? We're using Expo for this project, but Stream Chat SDK supports both Expo and React Native CLI. So as I was saying, when we go back, I just simply want to reset selected channel to null. Now I see some red warnings because we need to wrap these two components into a single component and to a single parent component in order for this to work. So I'm going to use an empty component, which is called a fragment, to put them together here. Text what? Just XML class does not support attribute because it does not have props value. What? On press. Did I mess something up? Save. Text cannot be used as it's an instance of text. Oh, here. I imported it from somewhere else, right? Text? No? Okay, now it's working. So I'm gonna go back to this one, and here not text based, but just simply text. And if I press on the general, I am redirected, but I don't see this go back because I need to add some style here. So for the style, I don't know, let's add some margin. This is purely just to see how it works, but I don't see it at all. So background color, red. Where are you? Font size 50. Vadim in the search of the button. Oh, I think it should be inside the channel because the channel probably expands the whole. Yes, it should have been inside channel because channel takes the space for the whole. For the whole page. I don't need the background color. I don't need this font size. I will just simply keep this margin, even 50, just to be able to click on it. So if I press on the go back, I am back. If I go to memes, I am here. I go back, I am back. Awesome. We're going to improve everything, all of this with proper navigation. But now just for us to understand how to put all the puzzles together, all of these probably 5 to 7 components that we have, like overlay, chat, channel list, channel. We're going to do it here in this file. So we have our channel component that provides the context for our channel. Now we need to provide some UI for the users. Well, there are other component called message list, and this message list will display a list of messages for that specific channel. How to use it? Can you guess? Message list. We simply render this component inside a channel component. So message list, and that's it. So if I press, I don't see anything because there are no messages. I see that my go back was pushed down, which is good. I can probably add it on top. Yeah. In order to see our message list in action, I'm gonna go right away to the next component, which is message input component. This component gives us this input box that allows us to write a new message. Same way, we import message input and we simply render it below our message list. message list. Save. Now let's try again. General. Not message list, but message input. Why did I? Now, at the bottom of the screen, we have here our send message box. And here I can say, hello, send. All right, everything is working. I see the hello message. I can go back. And right away here in the general, I see hello. Why is it in the general? Did I press on the general? Let me write here help, because this is the help channel. Let me go back. Yes. Oh, yeah. It was weird because I remember pressing on the last item. But the thing is that this message list will automatically sort, displaying the channels with the most recent messages on top. So now my help channel is on top. If I write something in general, now I am the first. And if I send, go back, now my general is on the top. So as simple as that, we have implemented our chat. We're not done yet, but so far with a couple of lines of code that fit all on one screen, we have implemented this application where I can write messages, I can react to messages, I can give a like, I can reply to messages like this. I can send a photo. Done. Send. Come on. This one. Send. I can attach a message. Let's wait until the photo is uploaded. Send. I can find a GIF. I don't know. What do we like? Cats. I don't like cats. Why did I write cat? No, I don't like cats. Dogs. Let's do that. Press on the find. And here we can choose any. That's not a. Okay, this is a cute dog. And we can do a lot of other things that most probably I didn't even find out. For example, we can tag people right away. Because we have only one person in this chat room, I can tag only myself. But yeah, that's how easy and how full of feature is this Stream Chat SDK, which is coming by default and with minimal input from us, with minimal development time or adjustments. The good thing is that all of these components, like everything that you see here, this is like the default style and the default components. But if you need to adjust them, you can easily do that. And everything is customizable. Like I looked into the documentation, up to these double ticks or like smallest icon, you can customize completely the component and render something that you need there. So flexibility and extensibility to extend this application to meet your needs is provided by Stream, and yeah, we can do that. We're not done yet, guys. We're just getting started. This is still the first part of the video where I'm trying to teach you how to work with Stream, but then we're gonna get into implementing actually the Discord and managing, putting everything together into the separate screens and so on. James, thank you very much for your messages. Did you add a profile photo? Yes, I added, and you can see it here when I reply. Other way to see it is to log in with a different user. So if I go here with your name, Yusuf, if you don't mind. And I'm gonna give you a different avatar. Do you want to be Elon Musk? You're gonna be Elon Musk today. So if I do that and I refresh, but most probably I will have to add you to that chat rooms because you're not gonna have access. But I can easily add you here through the dashboard. So just for us to see how it looks when there are more people in the same group, like this. Perfect. Memes. Perfect. Come on. Add. All right, here we have it. I already saw them. And here you see the avatar of the person that last sent a message. And you can say, hello. Don't we have any messages here? Most probably no. But if I go back and I go to the general, here I can see all my messages. And I can go ahead and reply to, for example, let's see our one. Hello. Reply. Boom, right away, we replied. And if I will log in back with my account, we're gonna see like your profile picture, my profile picture, or your profile picture. I think you got what I meant. And here is the last one. I don't know why it didn't set up your avatar. You don't have an avatar. That's weird. But yeah, as you can see, I can like it. What are the prerequisites of this course? For the prerequisites, I have listed them in the documentation at the beginning of a project. You would need a couple of things to download, and you would need Expo environment set up. But other than that, like we start from zero, from ground zero, and we work our way up until we build everything together. So some JavaScript knowledge is very important. React Native knowledge, like familiarity at least. You don't have to be a master to follow this because it's quite easy to implement everything. It's so far only these components. All right, so in summary, what we have done so far. So basically, how Stream Chat SDKs work in a couple of words is that, first of all, you need a client that is an instance of Stream Chat in order to provide to the UI components the function correctly. Okay, now I got it. Now, yeah, so you need that client to make a connection with Stream Chat SDK to your specific project using your API key. Using this client, you can connect the user, and you need to connect the user to make the connection with one specific user in your application. It's also possible to link Stream Chat SDK users with your database users by using tokens, and you can check this documentation for more details. After that, you will need to use a couple of important components, and the first one is the overlay provider. This component is helping Stream Chat SDK render things that are overlaid on top of your application, such as message reactions and so on, or file attachments or image pickers here. And also you need to wrap your whole application or only the part that contains the chatting functionalities with the chat component. This chat component is what will provide data to the UI components through contexts. Then there are a couple of UI components. First one is the channel list, and we saw here the channel list is helping us render the list of channels, and the channel list, like, we now simply use it as it is, but you can send a couple of parameters in order to customize what channels are displayed or how are they displayed. You can send filters, sort methods, and a lot of other customization function to display exactly what you need in your application. And then in order to render the channel, we need to wrap our channel page with a channel component that has information about the specific channel that you want to work in. Then there are two input components, not input, two UI components. The first one is the message list that renders a list of messages, as you can see here. Like, all of this is message list. What is good about this is that everything that we are doing is almost production ready. Like, I can say it's production ready from the stream side part. Now it depends on your side to adjust a couple of things. But what I mean here is that, for example, this message list is actually paginated. And if you have here a channel with 1 million messages, I would probably try to generate a lot of messages and show you how it is paginated. But what it actually does is it will not load all the messages at first. Will it work to showcase this? Let me try. I went crazy a bit. It will not load all the messages. It will load only the latest messages. And then as you scroll, you see that this scroll bar increases. Like, when I reach the top, it increases because it queries the next set of data. This is a very important feature in application in order to make it production ready, to say, because there are situations when you have a lot of data there, and just to query all of it and to render all of it will take a lot of time. What other thing? Yeah, like this message list, as we saw, like, provides a lot of features. Also, if a message is seen, sent, or read, message statuses. And the last component that we saw is the message input component. And this message input helps us send and compose messages. There is also the thread component. We might talk about that later in the video, so you can start a thread reply here. But for that, yeah, I see here a thread reply, but when I press, we need to redirect to the thread messages. This is a way to keep messages like compartmentized. Oh my God, such a hard word. That's it. That's everything that we needed to know about Stream Chat for now. Do you have any questions so far? Because in the next part, we are going to start by implementing the basic authentication to implement the authentication screens so that anyone can write their login name and the name to sign up and start chatting. And then we will start by displaying the list of channels in the side menu and doing a lot of things to be as close as possible to the Discord application. Let's see if we have any questions now, as we have finished the first part of the stream. Google sign-in was not covered in the authentication series. Yes, I know. We might do that later. The thing, yeah, like the social sign-ins, I have done a very in-depth tutorial about them for the course, the full stack mobile developer course that I'm working on. And yeah, I'm not sure if and when I'm gonna do the Google sign-in on YouTube. Okay, you can use a flat list. You can use a flat list for what? Everything is handled by us behind the scenes by these very simple components that we saw. For example, the channel list behind the scenes, of course, is using a flat list, or the message list as well is using a flat list. But we don't need to take care of that. Like stream, these components are self-managed. We need just to import where we need to display them. Okay. Oh, here is an interesting question. Now I'm creating an app with a list and a map. My map and the list are two different components. I want the list to scroll when I press on a marker. I have done this feature in our Airbnb clone. So you can check on our channel, the Airbnb clone, where I've done these functionalities where we have a list of data and a map, and they are synchronized. When you scroll through the list, the map adjusts and focuses on the marker, and when you press on a marker, the list automatically scrolls there. You can check it out on the channel. How long does it take to prepare courses like this? It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to prepare them well. Okay. Is it a good practice to use a lot of npm dependencies in the project? Well, I don't have like a yes or no answer to these questions. It really depends on the situation. If you have a very small functionality that you want to implement, and there is a choice to import a package that has these functionalities but has other 1000 functionalities besides this, I would think if I need that package, or I would easier implement that functionality myself. But in situations where you actually need like a lot of functionalities from that package, then definitely use it and don't try to complicate yourself and don't try to reinvent the wheel, because building application is not about writing code. It's about solving problems and delivering on them, like delivering applications. And if you can do that faster and more efficient than other developers, you're gonna win. Another thing is that when it comes to mobile applications, adding more like in web development, adding a dependency is a hard topic, because by adding a dependency, you increase the bundle size of your application, and every time the user will go to www.notjust.dev, they will download the whole bundle, and if you have a lot of dependencies, they will have to download more files. This will lead to more load time, and users usually leave a website if it doesn't load like in 1 second or so. However, with mobile applications, the way users interact with the application is they first download the application. So just by adding a couple of kilobytes from an npm package will have zero impact on your application, because it's going to be downloaded from time. And when you open it at that point in time, it doesn't matter if you have one dependencies or a lot of them. So that's the simplified answer. Did you ever use Amazon Personalize? Yes, I used that in my startup and also for my graduation project. My graduation project was around Amazon Personalize. A pretty dope technology. In the first page, why don't you add padding? I don't want to mess up with this at the moment, because we are gonna, in the next step, we're gonna implement navigation, and at that point, like everything is gonna be fine. That's why I'm just ignoring this issue. Vincent, I'm using a flat list, but my list and map are in two different files. Well, in that case, like you either have to drill the props, I don't know, keep the data in your application and send it through props till your components, or a better scenario would be to use a context. And today, actually, in the next step, we're gonna use a context, so you can stay tuned and see how to actually use context to share data between components. All right, guys. So, hey, David, thank you very much. So let's get back to our application because we still have a lot of things to do. The next step that I want to do is to implement a basic authentication because at the moment, the way we authenticate user is hard-coded and all of them have the same ID and the same name. We need a way that the user will provide their ID and name, and then we can connect the Stream Chat SDK with those data. In order not to have to code this login screen, I have prepared it for you, and you can download them from the asset bundle. After you download the asset bundle, let me quickly find where do I have them. It's a small component that contains the authentication screen. Un momento. Here. So, in the Discord asset that you downloaded, go to the code, and here we have the sign up screen. So, let's drag this sign up screen in our source screens here. Okay, here is our sign up screen. You can go through the code and analyze. It's not complicated. It's simply a couple of text inputs bind to a state variable and then a button that will call this sign up function. That's it. Below, I have all the styles that we need. Nothing more than that. But now let's open our navigation index. And we will have to add this login screen in our navigation. So let's scroll down where we get to the root navigator. I'm gonna copy this stack screen and I'm gonna duplicate it here in place. I will rename this to sign up screen. And for the component, I'm gonna use sign up screen. It was automatically imported from screens, sign up screen. The red arrow here is coming from the TypeScript. You can safely ignore it. It's not gonna break anything. But if you want to get rid of it, you can simply open the types.tsx file, find root stack param list, and provide here the sign up screen and undefined. Okay, now we need to reload the application. And we don't see the sign up screen. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Oh, yes, we will not see it because in our app.tsx, we have commented out our navigation. Well, I'm gonna do the other way. I'm gonna comment out everything else and I'm gonna enable navigation because now we're gonna move all of these features like channel list and channel and message list. All of these we're gonna move to their place, to their screen basically. So here we have our login screen, which is very similar to Discord in terms of design. And we're gonna roll with the dark theme throughout this tutorial. That's why for the status bar, in order to see it better here, we can provide a style light and it will turn to yellow style for the status bar. Okay, now having this sign up screen, what do we have to do when we press on this login button? Well, at the moment, it simply console logs the username. That is what? Why? I just pressed a couple of buttons so on my keyboard. Please don't cancel me. Okay. Well, the thing that should happen there is the connection of a user. So for that reason, I'm gonna copy this connect user function from our app.tsx. I'm not gonna copy, I'm gonna cut it from here because we don't need it here. We need it in sign up screen. So let's add it here. Here we need the client. The thing is that from in app.tsx we had the client that we initialize here. We could do the same in our sign up screen, but we would need to import the API key. So it's nothing wrong with that, but I prefer getting the client using a hook. So most of the data that Stream has, they expose it to you and you can access it from the hooks. Basically, the client is data that the chat contains, the chat provider. So let's, using the hook, get the data from the chat context provider. And I'm gonna do it like this. Import use something from Stream Chat Expo. And I need use chat provider, use chat context, use chat context. This is the hook that I need. Now using this hook, I can easily get the client equal use chat context. Save. All right, now our client is defined. Here, do we need set is ready? No, we don't need set is ready. And we don't need this creating of a channel. We will need something else. Basically, somehow navigate to the home page. Let's go back to app.tsx and clean up some of the things. For example, now we don't need this set is ready. It's going to be handled automatically by the authentication flow. Okay, and from here, from this if statement as well, remove the is ready. And this use effect as well, because we do not want to connect the user now. We want to connect it only after he signs up. Well, here, okay, yeah, I already discussed about that, because in this connect user, well, in this sign up, you first would sign up with your backend. After you receive that, you would connect the user to the Stream Chat SDK. The thing is that we're not calling it yet, so let's take it from here and call it in the sign up. And actually this navigation to the homepage will be in the sign up, not in the connect user. Okay, let's test if it works. So I'm gonna open this one, test, and for the password I can do anything there. Login. Calls to connect user is detected. Ideally should only call this function once. Okay, because I pressed two consecutive times on the button by accident, and we cannot call connect user more than once. It should be happen only once in the channel, because this connect user method will open a socket with the server, and it will keep it open in order to receive real-time messages. So by opening multiple connections, we can have memory leaks. Another thing about connecting a user is that, yeah, like once we connect, as I said, it opens a socket. Now, when we leave the application or when we leave a screen, that connection is still there because it was not cleared up. There is a method to disconnect the user and to clear up all the connections in order to not have memory leaks. And I'm going to do that in the app.tsx. When this event should happen? This event should happen when our application is closing, when our application is unmounting. Well, remember when we did the function of connecting the user here, when the application mounted, we used the use effect. For the unmounting event, guess what? We're going to use the same use effect. Use effect. With a function, and we're gonna have here empty dependency array to be called only when the component mounts. Everything here that we define, this is done when component mounts, but everything that is inside the function that we return is executed when the component unmounts. So this is done when component unmounts. And here we can call the client.disconnect user. Boom. And now when the application disconnects, we will disconnect the client as well to make sure everything is perfect. Okay, so we added the authentication screen. We connected the user with chat SDK. Now the next step is to navigate home, only if the user is logged in. How can we do that? Well, if you know some things about the navigation, you would say, let's simply do navigation.navigate, for example, home, navigate home. This way it might work. I mean, it works, but it's not the best way to do it. The best way to conditionally redirect the flow of your application based on some important events, for example, authentication. There is a flag like if the user is authenticated or not, and we need to redirect the user to that specific part of application. For that scenarios, it is better in our navigation here to actually conditionally render the stack screens based on the condition that we need. So we need to render this sign up screen only if the user is signed up, and we need to render this the other screens basically in the other case when the user is already signed up. How that will happen, like in a simple words, like let me show you instead of talking. For example, I'm going to have a variable, I don't know, user ID that will specify my ID. So initially it's going to be null, right? Well, now let's put all these text screens in a conditional rendering. So if user ID is not defined, question mark, then render the sign up screen. Otherwise, we need the fragment, don't forget about that. Render these other two stack screens. Now I see the sign up screen, but if this value will have an ID, for example, Vadim, I will right away be redirected to our bottom tab navigator, and we will be able to work with this. This approach of conditionally rendering different stack screens, different screens in your navigation is much better because you are sure that if the user is not authenticated, there is no way he will be able to go there. Period. Like there is no way. You are just completely like you're not rendering this part of your application at all, and yeah, you restrict access from there. Now the question is, how do we set this user ID when the user signs up? Well, we can save it here as a state, and through some properties send it to the sign up screen to update it and so on. But in this situation, we would go into a problem called prop drilling, where we would have to send a property down to a lot of components until we reach the component that actually depends on that data. A way to solve prop drilling problem in React and React Native is to use contexts. Context is a shared data that you can easily access from anywhere in your component, anywhere in your application, or actually, let's say, in any descendant, in any child of your context provider. We saw, for example, that I talked about context, that this chat is a context and it holds data about the client. This channel is a context that holds data about the channel. But let's see how to develop such a context provider like this to be able to share data about the authenticated users. To do that, I'm going to create a new folder, contexts, and I'm going to create a new file of context.tsx. Here, we will need to import create context from React, and let's right away create our context. So const of context equal to create context, and here we need to provide the value for our context. Sorry. Here we need to provide the default value of our context. Basically, we will include the structure of the data that we need. So what do we need in our auth context? We need a user ID to know which is the authenticated user. Initially, it will be null. And we need a function set user ID to be able to update this value from everywhere in our application. You're going to see where we will need it. And the set user is going to be a function that will simply return void. And actually, it should receive a parameter new ID of type string, if that is important. Actually here not void because it's not a type, it's an empty function. Okay, now this auth context that we get by creating the context contains two properties inside. It contains a provider and a consumer. For when we need the values, we would use the consumer to consume the context, but the component that consumes the context should be a descendant of the context provider. So for that reason, we can either import this auth context in our app.tsx in the same way as we wrapped our whole application with a chat. We could wrap it in the auth context.provider. That's also possible, but I'm going to show you how to do it in a better way, similar to how Stream is doing, by simply exposing one component. We're going to expose as well one component. So let's do auth context component equal a component that will return. What will it return? As I said, everything, in order to access the context, we need to wrap everything else in the auth context.provider. Now everything that will be inside here will have access to the provider. But what will be inside here? Who is going to be here? Well, I don't know. It's going to be anything that that we receive as children. So let's receive these children and simply render them inside the provider. In a moment, it's going to make more sense. I want to export default of context component. And it complains that the provider should have a required property value. basically the value of this user ID, the actual value of this user ID, and the actual setter for this function. What would be the actual values of this user ID and set user ID? Well, it's going to be a state variable that this component will keep. So the user ID and set user ID is our use state variable that we initialize with null. Now let's send here the value as an object similar to here. And let's send there the user ID and the set user ID. Okay, these are default values that are initialized with null and empty function, but here we provide the actual values, these ones. You can ignore this red warning, it's simply because of type, so if you just copy this type and provide it, well, no, I'm not gonna go into that route. So, let's do it. Now, what do we do with this auth context component and where will we get these children from? Well, let's open our app.tsx and import auth context component. I'm gonna import it with the name auth context simply. You can rename it, of course. Yes, like this. And we're gonna wrap everything that we need to have access to the authentication. Well, it's anywhere here on the top. So auth context, I will wrap my overlay provider, right? Save. Now, this auth context expects the children property. Where does it get from? Well, everything inside the auth context is considered its children and will be sent to the auth context component through props as children. That's why we get them from here. Basically, we behind the scenes it copy paste them here. We don't need to do that because we dynamically render the children. And now everything here, including the navigation and all the screens that are inside the navigation, will have access to the auth context. Okay, how do we get this data? We get this data using a hook called useContext. This useContext hook expects the actual context that we want to access. And I'm gonna simplify our work by creating a very simple function that we will export from this file called useAuthContext. This is gonna be similar to the useContext, but it will not expect any parameters because it will automatically return our auth context. So it's going to be an empty function that will simply do useContext of auth context. Export const. Yes. It's as little as this, but now instead of importing both useContext and the auth context, we simply import this function that will give us everything. So the first step in our screens, sign up screen, we need here to set the logged in user. Well, let's do it like this. We will destructure something from what? From the useAuth context. From useAuth context, we are going to destructure the setter because here we want to set the user. Let's call it after we connect the user. Set user, and the username, the ID is gonna be this one. Well, but you know what? I forgot to update the hard-coded and dummy data because what we want for the ID is gonna be the username that we are typing on the keyboard in that input field. The name is gonna be this one. Name. The password we don't need for StreamChat SDK. The images, everyone is going to be Elon. And but wait a second. I think that's why it didn't work, because you know what? Because Elon Musk is a PNG. So the last step is here for the dev token. We need to give the same ID. So I'm gonna give username, and for the set user ID is as well username. Now everything is with dynamic data. Navigator can only contain screen, group, or React fragment, as it found screen for the screen route to render this component. Navigator pass it to... Wait a second, what, where, and how? What do you want from me? Well, let's go to the navigation. And here, we already implemented the logic of conditionally rendering our authentication screen. The only step is to properly get the user ID, not from here, but from our auth context. So, user ID is equal use auth context, like this. Okay, let's see if it works. Now, if I log in, I should be redirected to the main page. So username here, let's do Vadim, or let's try something else. Test, login. I am here, automatically redirected. And if I will look in the dashboard, users, I see this test user. Awesome. Yeah, that's it with our login screen. For my convenience, I'm going to sign up screen. I'm gonna to initialize my username with Vadim, in the name with Vadim, because we are when refreshing the application, we will always be redirected to this screen. Because this is a very basic authentication, like we just simulate the authentication with the backend and we use it to connect with a StreamChat SDK. But in a normal authentication form, you will definitely persist the data that the user is authenticated, and after the first login, if the user will refresh, he will not be redirected there. But this is not the point of today's tutorial. If you want to actually learn more about authentication, and if you want to build a fully featured authentication flow with all the screens that the authentication needs, like sign in, sign up, forgot password, reset password, confirm account, with email confirmations, with connection, with Amplify, then check out on the channel. I will try to leave a link somewhere here to the playlist that contains all those videos where we build the authentication flow from scratch. Whew, I'm already tired, but super excited for what's coming next. Why not use Redux? Why should I complicate this application with Redux if I just simply need to save one variable about the user? That's the question that you should probably also ask whenever you start a project. Like, does this library help me, or does it complicate stuff? And because Redux is probably fine in a lot of big size projects, but for a lot of other projects, like, you don't need to complicate it with Redux. You can go and implement the same features with a context, or with simply passing around props if you don't want to use the context. Or better, you can try Recoil. Recoil is very easy to use and very performant global state management. Is it possible to use Redux with Amplify? Can you make a tutorial on that? I haven't tried, but most probably yes, because they're two different things. But again, like, I am not the biggest fan of Redux. There are better tools that in different scenarios work much better than Redux. And in most situations where I've been, very rarely where Redux was the logical option. In a lot of situations, we end up using something else that offers better functionalities or the same functionality as Redux, but yeah, like in a different context or something like that. For example, like in the context of Amplify, you could use data store, or in the course, I'm teaching how to integrate Apollo client to query the Amplify database. And the thing is that Apollo client, besides being a GraphQL querying client, it is also it has a caching mechanism. And this caching mechanism will serve you as a global state management, because if when querying the data, they cache it and they don't duplicate it, so it's like a global state management. In other situations, like I prefer using Recoil, or in easy solutions like this one, I prefer using the context. So as you can see, there are different ways around Redux, and I try to avoid Redux as much as possible. Okay. Oh. So. Can someone just buy part of a course? I have run a pre-sale campaign previous year, and a lot of people, like more than I expected, joined the pre-sale campaign. And now they receive new modules as I finish them and as I release them, and they give me feedback, and then I can improve on this. So at the moment, there is no way to get into the course, because I'm trying to focus all my energy on building it and not like marketing and onboarding clients. So expect in the couple of months to have an announcement, because it's close to the finish. There is still a lot of things, and I want to teach you everything there. So I'm trying my best to focus and to scope it in order to deliver faster. So believe me, it is in my best interest as well to finish it faster and release it. But I don't want to trade the quality of a course for faster deploying it and for faster bringing it to market just for the sake of, I don't know, making some money. I don't want that. I really want to build a great course that people love and people get actual value out of it, and at the end they're comfortable in building any React Native application from scratch, both on front end, on back end, testing, deploying. Oh my god, that's a lot. So that's my goal. Okay, that's a nice chatting. What do we need to do next? So as I said, I did that. Let me quickly commit everything. I forgot to commit more often. By the way, the source code of this application is going to be available after the live stream. I need... What happened here? Huh? Okay, never mind. I'm gonna figure it out afterwards. Which platform you prefer as backend if you're making an application for production? Definitely Amplify. Amplify, and Amplify. It's so good when it comes to creating production-ready applications, because there is a big team at AWS that is working to make Amplify secure, scalable, reliable, and the only thing that we have to do is integrate with it. And if your project allows it, I recommend it. Otherwise, if it doesn't allow to use tools like Amplify, then I would think on either going serverless. In that situation, you need a bit more knowledge about serverless and how to properly design microservices. Or you can build an old school Node.js server with either like a REST API with Express, or I prefer a GraphQL API, and you can do that as well with Node.js. Okay guys, so let's move to the next step. We finished with the basic authentication. The next step is to display the list of channels in the side menu of our application. This is how actually Discord is doing. In the side menu, they are displaying the list of all the channels where you can join and start chatting. So for that, the first time in history, we are working with Drawer Navigator. Let's have a look at the documentation for the Drawer Navigator, because this is gonna help us add this side menu or hamburger menu, as others are calling it. And we're gonna do that simply by installing this Drawer Navigator by doing npm install drawer. Let's open the terminal and install it right away here. Oh, cold coffee, so good. After that, after we installed it, in Expo, doesn't matter, it will work with npm as well. But you could try to run this one. The gesture handler we actually already have installed. Okay, and now let's get this simple drawer component, but actually I'm gonna create it from scratch because it's not too complicated. And I'm gonna show you step by step how to do it. So, having it installed, let's go in our navigation folder. And for our drawer, I like to keep all the navigators in their own files because it's much easier to work with. For example, right now in the index, we have like both the bottom tab navigator and the home stack navigator and the icons and so on. Like it's kind of a mess, and it's getting very confusing very fast. But if we create a file called drawer navigator.tsx, and here we will first import create drawer navigator from React navigation drawer. Now we're gonna create our drawer equal create drawer navigator. Perfect. Now let's define our component. Drawer navigator, a simple component that will return what? It will return navigator. It will return drawer.navigator, and inside drawer.navigator we need to have drawer.screen. Very similar, I mean almost the same as any other navigators. For example, in case of stack navigator, we simply create native stack navigator, we use stack.navigator and stack.screen inside. Same things here. For the name, let's call it, I don't know, test, and component, I will do tab 1, or how is it called? Screen tab one screen. Save. Now let's do export default drawer navigator. Export default drawer navigator. And what should we do with this exported drawer navigator? We need to import it in the index. So let's import drawer navigator from this directory, and we're gonna render it instead of our root. So basically we will not need this bottom tab navigator. Our root will be that drawer navigator. So after the user signs up, the drawer navigator will be the main component. Save. I don't think we need these bottom tab navigator. No, we don't. So I'm gonna actually remove it to keep it simple. Save. And from here, a lot of things can be cleaned up. Like this, probably. Now it's clean. Okay, so here we see our test, our tab 1, but we see also the hamburger menu. And if we press on this, we see our component here, our page. Basically, what Drawer Navigator is doing is rendering the list of screens here in the side menu. And if you have more of them, test 2, then you can simply go from one to another. And also you can easily swipe left and it will open. Nice. What is your streaming schedule? Every Friday at the same time, it's 3 p.m. GMT, or 2 hours before current time in your local area. So make sure, add it to your calendar and join us every week. We are learning new stuff every week and we all evolve. Right, so having this drawer here, what are the things that we want to do? So basically, let's have a look at one of the screenshots. Actually, I'm gonna add the screenshots in the assets as well, and you're gonna be able to download them to easily see here what do we have to do. So as you can see, this Drawer Navigator is displaying, first of all, the title of the channel, and then the title of the server, and then a list of channels here. Okay. So that means that we need a custom Drawer Navigator, because with this approach that it automatically renders our screens here, is not working for us. So how do we do a custom Drawer Navigator? Well, we define a custom component, const drawer content, and this will return. Well, let me actually get it from the documentation, from them. Un momento, custom drawer content, this one, right? Yes, because it has a couple of features that we don't need at the moment, but they are quite important. From these two things, we need to import from the drawer item. So now let's refresh. Oh, but we didn't send it to anything. I will switch to arrow function because I like it better. And this custom drawer content we can send to the Drawer Navigator as drawer content here. And now the Drawer Navigator will use this component to render its content. Now if I go here, I see the same list and one optional help button. Where are they coming from? well, this custom drawer content receives some props that will contain all the screens. There is this drawer item list that we can import from the drawer. And this will basically render that basic thing that you know. But you can also use a drawer item to add more options if they are not here, if they are, for example, in another part of your application, or if you need to add a contact us button, and so on. You can adjust with this a lot of things, but what I want to do is completely everything from scratch. So I'm gonna start with text, and this text will render the name of a server. So notjust development, for example. We need to import text and style sheet from React Native. Let's define the style sheet like this, and we will have what? Title. And for the style, for the text, I'm gonna give a styles.title. Well, I think this is the time when we switch to work in dark mode, because I really like dark mode. That's all I can say. So to where we have it, here we have navigation where we send the color scheme. Instead of having a dynamic color scheme based on the application, which is fine to have in your application a dynamic color scheme, I would rather not spend time into implementing the both color scheme because it's out of the scope for this video, and I'm gonna rather override the color scheme here to dark. Now, as we can see, our navigation is using the dark color scheme. Awesome. Back to our drawer navigator. Here we have a title. The title, what it should be, first of all, color white, then font weight bold to make it bold, and also align self-center to center the text in the middle. Okay, and let's increase a bit the font size to at least 16. Okay, and I'm gonna add some margin vertical, or just simply margin 10. I'm not sure if that's a lot or not, but we're gonna see later when we import some other things. Okay, besides the title, what else do we need here? Well, as I said in the here, we need to render all the channels that we can join. How to do that? I think we did that already. Well, let's go back, and here is how we can do it. Displaying the channel list in our drawer below the text. So let's import channel list from React Stream Chat Expo, and also let's bring the on channel selected. Actually, I'm gonna bring it, but we will not. I'm gonna bring it here, but I'm not gonna use a state variable to decide what channel to display. I would rather navigate to a screen for this channel. So from web.tsx I can remove this on channel select, and I can remove the state for the selected channel. Okay, so what else? Let's have a look if we see anything. Alright, so here we see our channel list, and we can press but nothing happens. Regarding the color scheme and colors for stream, we're gonna talk about that in a moment. But now let's implement. Yeah, let's first implement navigating to the channel channel page, and after that talk about the colors and customizing the components from Stream Chat SDK. So guys, what do we need? Well, we need a separate screen that will have the responsibility to render one channel. Well, we don't have that yet, so for that reason, in the screens, I'm gonna create a new file, channel screen, because this is a screen that is displaying a channel, TSX. Here, let's do React Native functional export to automatically generate this one. I have a snippet, so if it's not working for you, don't worry. You can either copy the boilerplate from here, or you can check out the video where I show you the best, my VS Code extensions, and where I talk about these snippets. Okay, channel screen, let's keep it like this for now. Let's work a bit with the navigation. So where will we include this channel screen? Well, this is going to be part of the drawer navigator, because here in the drawer navigator, every channel here will redirect to that screen, to that channel screen. So that's why we need a channel screen. And the component as well is going to be channel screen. That is imported from screens. I don't need tab 1 anymore. And I don't need these two things. Okay, now we need here to navigate to the channel screen. Well, how do we do that? This custom drawer content will receive in props the navigation object, and having the navigation object, we can call on it navigate. And where do we want to navigate? To the channel screen. Save. If I press this one, I think I have to reload. Log in. Virtualized list should never be. Oh, okay, 1 second. If I press on this one, I go to the channel screen, and I can also do options, title, channel. I don't know. If I press on the other one, again, I'm going here to the channel. But how do we know to which channel are we going? Well, for that we have navigation properties. So I'm gonna send the channel through the properties as the second parameter and inside the object here. Okay, that's good. We have a channel here. Let's go to the channel screen and see how we can receive it here. Well, to receive it, we need to get the parameters which can be accessed through the route. The route we will get using the use route hook from React Navigation Native. We first get the route inside our component on the top, use route, and the channel will be a route.params. These are the object with all the parameters, and then we need to access it by the name as we are sending it. So if we're sending it as channel, that's the name of a parameter, channel. Okay, but this channel might in some cases be undefined. So let's do it like this. If channel is undefined, show, I don't know, view and the text, select a channel from the list. Select the channel from the list. Let's do it like this. I'm gonna also have to start working with some styles. So React Native style. I need to import the style sheet. styles.error container, and here error text. Error text. So for the error container, I want them just flex 1 to the error container to be on the whole page, and I want to align the text in the middle, so I'm gonna give flex direction, no flex direction, justify content center and align items center to center them both horizontally and vertically, center. Okay, now error container flex 1 error text. This is important because without overriding the color, we're not gonna see it. So I can simply do white and font size 10. For the container, we can add some padding not to touch the margins. Now if I log in, connect user undefined is not an object, raw params channel. Yes, because we are accessing the channel, but whenever we first open the application, there is not a single channel selected. So the params is empty. That's why we need to access it safely by adding the question mark here, because trying to access the channel property on a null object will throw that issue. But now it's working, but I don't see my error container. Do you know why? Background color red. That will tell us. I don't see it either. Oh, because we are not returning, of course. Save. Okay, here we have it. I don't need the background color red anymore. And font size 10. Why font size 10? Why did I want it to do font size 10? 16. Select a channel from the list on the left or something like that. Now, if I select a channel, I don't see that error anymore. And if I move to another channel, again, I don't see that error. All right. Now what? Now we need to render the actual channel with the messages. Well, that's not too hard because we have done that already. So what we have to copy is the channel component here. We're gonna copy it. Let's go to the channel screen and render it here instead of a view. I'm going to have to import channel message list and message input. Instead of selected channel, we're gonna send here the actual channel that we receive from the routes, and we don't need the go back text because go back now is handled by navigation or moving to another thing. Now memes, let's go. Here we have it. It's changing to the other one. Hello, general. Come on, general. Is it moving to the other part or not? I'm just trying to figure it out. No, I think it doesn't move. Am I in all of the channels that we have here as Vadim channels? Help members. I'm here. Am I here? I am here. Let me just add me in the general as well. Add. Okay. Let's see. Well, we have a first error. Virtualized list should never be nested inside plain scroll view with the same orientation. Why is this happening? Well, this issue is happening when you nest two scroll views with the same direction, for example, vertical, one into another. This is bad because at the end of the day, React Native will not know to which scroll view it should handle your scroll event, because it should be only one. And it's happening because our drawer content scroll view and the channel is a scroll view, and the channel list is as well a scroll view. So for that reason, we need to get rid of one. We cannot get rid of a channel list. So for that reason, I'm gonna replace this with either a view, but better a safe area view, just to make sure that our contents does not go underneath the notch. Safe area view. Now log in. I don't see that error, and now I don't see anything else as well, because I need to adjust the style and say that this safe area view should take the whole space of our side menu. Save, log in, let's go, and here we have it, general. And if I move to the other one, it doesn't move. It doesn't move. It doesn't move because it doesn't update. But why it doesn't update? In the channel screen, let's console log channel. I have an idea why is this happening. I just want to be sure. So if I go to help, channel URL, what? Oh, ID general. And if I go to memes, is as well general. Is as well general. Channel in the drawer. So here what we're doing is navigating. Instead of navigating, let's try to do push. And if it works, I'm going to explain you why it works. So okay, let's go to the general. JSON string file cannot serialize cyclic structures. Okay, this is related to our push, right? On select channel. Let me try to get one thing. For example, ID. Is it part of? No, this is active channels. Channel. I just need one ID of this channel. Messages, object. Okay. Does it have any channel screen? Console log channel to string. Hello, X Dreamland. How are you doing? Okay. Show me something. Give me something. General. It's an object. Come on. Channel. The structure of a channel. dot, let's do it like this, channel of type channel I'm just trying to find out how to get an ID of this channel to be able to console log to see if it changes or not. Now channel dot name, channel dot name, undefined, it's undefined. It's really undefined. Okay, it's not name, it's should be a function, something like get what? Okay, we're gonna need to look through the documentation. So where we have channel, but this is a component, I need channel context. Okay, creating channels, channel ID, creating list, channel data when creating, no. We need to, oh, come on.
Everything okay?
Yep, logging. Non-server client, logger, channel, extra data, channel. It may also contain some extra data. Some examples have been mentioned here. Okay, we're gonna figure something out. We're gonna do it. Let me reload, clean everything. Hello, Puri. Thank you very much. Okay, initially it's undefined. When I press on the general, again I'm lost in this. You know what? With Chrome debug tools is gonna be easier. How can I do that? Yeah, like this. And I'm gonna open the debug tools because I can, yes, I think so. Console, let go. Why you closed? Expo go. All right. Log in. Come on, come on. Why so slow? Doesn't want to work? Really? Like some small problems like always messes up everything. Probably doesn't work with Chrome debug tools. So I'm gonna have to stop that, or let me try again. No, I'm gonna probably have to stop remote debugging and log in simply. What did they have here? Drawer. Let's see, option header, events, examples, checking, nesting inside ours. No. React navigation. Navigate with new params. It doesn't re-render. Or it might actually re-render. Oh, it's working. Why now it's working? Really? I just had to play around a couple of times until it finally worked. Okay, I don't mind, but maybe I didn't pay attention to something. But yeah, like I can go to the general. All right, I can go to the memes. It's again general. Help. Memes. General. 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 Just trying to see if it works. Memes. No, it's the same. I know why it might happen. Might happen. It might happen because, yeah, I remember. Actually, the channel is updating, but this component inside does not update when we re-render. So we will have to, just a moment, just to see if that's actually true. I need to get the name of a server. No, docs, where is it? Docs. Channel name. Channel.data.name. Is it channel.data.name? And if yes, I will do something with this. Undefined is not an object. Channel data. Oh, yes, because I need to put it in like this, because channel might be undefined. So now let's see. Login. Undefined, but if I select one, general, if I go to memes, it's memes. Fine. If I go to help, it's help. Perfect. What we can do with this name before we fix the next issue is to set the title of a page. We can set the title of a page using use navigation, const navigation equal use navigation. And then we can do navigation dot set options. Title can be this one, or if it is null, then default to channel. Now help, we see at the top, general, help, memes. Yes, it's working. I mean, it's working this one, but the actual message list are not updated when we update the channel. So I remember I fixed this issue. What we have to do is we have to trigger the recreation of this channel and not the prop update. Because right now we get a new channel and we simply update the property here, but we still keep the same channel. It would be possible to implement that. I'm not sure why it's not done, to listen to these updates with a use effect. But in our case, we need to trigger recreation of this component. So I am thinking to recreate it whenever we receive a new channel. That's tricky. I would like to see how I did that previous time. So in the chat probably we have here screens, channel screen. We have a channel. We are working here with the channel itself. Okay. So let's think how to better do it. So we receive a channel update. We have to completely recreate this component. Does the there are a lot of ways, like hacky ways to approach that. I'm just trying to figure out which is gonna be the easiest to explain. When you're trying to do something fast, the system is like, really? Yeah, definitely. So we need a way, like a switch, to turn off and turn on whenever we receive a new channel. And that switch will be having const assign different key to channel key. Do you think that would work? Channel dot data dot name system be like memes. Wait, if that worked, oh my god, that actually worked. I would have done it so hacky. Probably I'm tired, but I was thinking, oh my god, of including like already 10 state variables. Thank you very much, young Jojo. No, the other one. It's gonna be very hard for me to pronounce, but your last name is Fu. So thank you very much for helping me. Actually, that saved me. Oh my god. Yes, and now we can move from one channel to another easily, and everything is automatically updated. We can send messages as we were used to. And woo, that's awesome. Okay. Now, what else? What are the next steps? Do we adjust the styles? Let's do that because it's quite easy. So, a lot of times when there are pre-made solutions, the problem with the pre-made solutions that we just use as they are is the lack of flexibility. And in a lot of cases in your application, you need flexibility. What I like about Stream is their flexibility. I already talked about the ways you can use custom components for almost anything. There is a guide, for example, customizing the message input. You can change a layout, you can change a lot of things, disable the send button. You can do it yourself with an image upload preview by creating them, by putting the pieces together, changing the things, how they work based on the data. But in a lot of cases, you don't want to change everything. You just want to change the style to match your design. Well, for that, Stream is providing the theming. Let me find it. Theming. So with theming, you can easily adjust the theme of that the Stream Chat is using. And here I'm talking about colors, about anything that is related to React Native styles. I don't know, the roundness of the buttons, the colors, the sizes of the text, the font, everything can be easily adjusted through the theme. So how we are going to do that? Okay. All right, so here they have the dark mode feature. So for the dark mode, what they are doing, well, they have a get theme and which returns an object colors. Okay, I get it. So let's go in app.js. I'm gonna first of all clean everything because we already implemented as we want. I'm gonna clean some of these things as well. So in the application, let's define the theme. The theme is going to be an object, and if you want to get IntelliSense suggestions, then we can where is it? We can type this object as deep partial theme. It should be just simply theme that will be imported from the here. And this one as well. Now with this, everything that you write here will be automatically typed, and you know if you are doing it correctly or not. Because if I do ABC something like this, TypeScript will say that theme does not have this ABC. But if I do colors, I already got an IntelliSense, and here I can do black, for example, and I will change the black to be white. So that's how we switch from the light mode to dark mode. We change the colors. So the black will be FFF, save. Now if I log in, if I check this one, it's not working because there are a lot of colors there. Oh, because we didn't send the theme anywhere. Now with this theme, we will send it to the overlay provider. Is it to the overlay provider? Yes, it's to the overlay provider. So let's do here style equal, no, value. Value equal style theme. Save. Okay, I already saved that my names of the text disappeared because we set the blacks to be whites. If I set them to be red, you're gonna see that the names become red. And this way we can override all the colors that we need to override for our theme. Well, you don't have to spend the time to do that because I have prepared that for you, and you can find it in the Discord asset bundle. In the code, there is this colors file. Open, and let's simply copy them. And we can either add them here in the app.tsx, or we can go to the source. There is a thing like constants, and here are colors. Let's do it like this: export const stream colors. So here I switch basically the black to white and all the others to their opposite. Now in our app.tsx, let's do it like this: stream colors from source constants colors. And here we have it. Everything now is, you cannot use a channel after client disconnect. Why client disconnect? Here we have it. All the channels have dark mode. That's awesome. And as you saw, it's just by simply overriding the styles here. But customizing does not stop here. I saw another warning. What? From where? Okay, this one, non-serializable value. Okay, yeah. That's because we are navigating by passing the whole channel. It's okay. So as I was saying, that's not the only thing that we can customize with themes, because if we go to this theming documentation, you can find the default theme object in the theme.tsx, and here you can see what are all the values that are used by default. So I don't know, I could try. There are a lot of styles, but yeah, like you can adjust all of them. So theme, let's say I want what? Something like message, grid, message input. No, I'm gonna do the actual message. Message list. Message simple. Well, let's simply do, I saw their message input. It's gonna be easier for me to show you on that. Where is message input? Message input and container, for example. So if I do here message input, I first need to keep everything else because I don't want to override everything. So I'm gonna have to theme. Is this a type or a value? How do I import the theme? I want to just override it. Oh, but it will, I think. No. Message input container, background color red. Will it work? You cannot use a channel. Okay, I need to refresh. Okay, now the background of our container is red. Amazing. And this way, like if you dig deep into this style the theme, you can adjust everything and make this application look exactly the way you want. In case you need to do some changes on the layout or some bigger changes, in that situation, check out the custom components documentation, and here you will see how we can adjust the components. There is an interesting property force align messages on the channel component. And I know that Discord is aligning all the messages to the left. Let me see if it works. Force align messages equal left. Okay, now all the messages are on the left, and even my messages are on the left. And another person that will start talking he will appear, his message is there. They're a bit different in style, as you can see when they are on the left. As you can see, yeah. They do not have a background like the bubbles. And I don't need that red background because it kills me. Yeah, in this case, they have bubbles. So it depends on you, like on your preference, the way you want to make them look. But everything is possible here. So that's it with our displaying the list of channel in the side menu with a drawer. Then what else? Create a chat room with a user. Navigation, navigate to a chat room. Navigation, we have implemented that. Actually, we implemented most of the things that I have planned for today. The only thing that I would like to fix is the issue of new users and like what channels to query for new users. So if I do Vadim 1, login, and if I check the side menu, I should receive an error saying query channels failed with error. 3 channels match your query but cannot be returned because you don't have access to them. Did you forget to include members in Vadim? Yes, this is for, okay. So for the channel list, let's do it like this. Where is the channel list? We need to filter channel list. Channel list here. So yes, members in. That's the filter that I should give to the channel list. So let's open navigation, drawer navigation, and here where we have channel list, we will need to give some filters. We need to query only the channel list that we are part of. So how do we do that? Well, using these members in, and here I need to provide my ID. How to get my ID? Simply by doing const user ID equal use of context. User ID. Save. Let's start chatting. How about sending your first message to a friend? Now it works. It doesn't give us an error because here we will... not user ID, Vadim. User ID, save. If I log in with simply Vadim, I should see the list of my channels, yes, but if I log in with Vadim, Vadim 1 login, then I will not see any chatting. And yeah, because we are not part of any channels at this moment. What's next? When we register the user, I think I will have him join a channel. So somehow to join a common channel. Let's read a second. Okay, context providers, no, channel, where, yeah. Oh my god, how many things you can override here. Invite, component to render system, message system. Okay, there are message system. Updating channel members, adding, removing, and removing channel members. Using the add members method, adds the given user as members, while remove members removes them. Await channel add members. This is how you can add users. When member join a channel, you can specify if they have access to the history or not. The history will be shown by default, set to true. Okay, that's interesting. Leaving the channel. Adding and removing moderators to the channel. That's a lot of things that you can do here. Invites. Stream provides the ability to invite users to a channel via update channel. Via the update channel method. Вадим, у тебя perfect English, ты всегда понимаешь тег-доки или иногда воспользуешься переводчиком. My reading English is very good, so I do not need to translate anything. I've studied in English. I've lived abroad for a long time, so I studied actually before going abroad, for almost 10 years, very seriously. In order to accept an invite, you must use the accept invite method. The accept invite method accepts an object with an optional message property policy. The message can be used for a system message to display the channel. How do you invite yourself? Wait a second. Accept invite. Oh, querying for pending invites. I'm thinking to actually do another stream next week where we actually implement all of these things like inviting users, managing moderators. But for today, I just want a simple way to let people join a couple of servers, channels that we have created. Let me try to simply do it like this. Whenever we I'm not sure if we will have access to it, so let's just give it a try. In the screens, sign up screen. After connecting the user and before setting it here, I want to do const channel equal client dot channel. The type is team, then is general, and here what else did we have there? I can have a look in the documentation here. Channel, okay, name, okay, only the name. And here name general. And I can try to do await channel dot watch. Now let's have a look. Let's have a look, and I hope it will give us access, but I'm not sure, it might not. So Vadim, new user, new login. Get or create channel failed with error. User Vadim new with role. User is not allowed to access resources. Read channel, but it's written wrong. On channel type team. Maybe there are public channels, you know, and it's gonna be easier for me to implement it right now. Public. Oh, a live stream type supports public access. Both channel create and channel watch methods ensure that the channel exists and create one. Otherwise, if all you need is to ensure that the channel exists, create. However, is more commonly used server side. Client side integration favor channel watch, as it both creates and watches the channel in one call. Creating a channel using a channel ID, creating a channel for a list of members. The channel data can contain as many custom fields as you'd like, name image members, and that's it. Nothing about the being public or not. Channel muting or hiding, disabling, deleting, truncating, throttling, disabling channels. No, muting invites channel. I'm gonna try to create a channel with the type live stream, because this is a might be a way to create actually public channels without having to deal with a lot. So here is hello all. The name, oh, this is the ID, right? Public, let's keep it simple, live stream. So now if I do Vadim new one, login, Again, possible unhandled exception. ¿Por qué? Use client disconnect before. I had to refresh. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Let's go. 7 login. Now in the drawer, I still don't have it. Let's see if it was created at least. Channels, public, type live stream. Yes, because based on, okay, look what we're gonna do. We're gonna be very smart. In the drawer navigator, I'm gonna have 2 channel lists. One that you are part of and one public channels that everyone can join. So to do that, look what I'm gonna do. That's smart. I'm gonna add a new channel list here with public filters. Public filters. Const filters equal. I think it's type live stream, but let me double check that. So in the documentation, where we basically here, filter ID. No, I need to check something else. Channel list here. Client's query channel function. Type, yes, type messaging. In my case was type live stream. So these are the public filters. And I can log in as Vadim. Okay, I have my channels on top, and here on the bottom I have the public channels. It would be interesting to see how to properly to style them in a way that they can stack on top of each other. Because right now they are 2 separate views here. So I will add a simple text. We are almost there, and in a moment I'm gonna share with you the application so we can all join and chat together. That's actually what I'm trying to do right now. Styles dot group title, and the first one is public channels, and the other one here is our group title. Text. Color white. Margin 10. Margin 10, and what else? Probably it's good. Public. Hi everyone. Yes. And now if I'm gonna log in with another user, 123, log in. Here, I don't have any channels, but I have this public channel where I can join and talk with everyone. All right. What else? I'm thinking before giving you access to this, to make it more fun, to see if it's possible to somehow add images. I remember probably doing that in sign up screen. No, I was not doing that with the images. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, that is it. That is everything that I wanted to show you. Now, what you can do is open up Expo on your phone. I'm gonna move here to tunnel, and I'm gonna paste this code, or you can scan this this QR code with your phone while I'm trying to paste it in the chat to access it there. And you would be able, let me first check it on my phone to see if it's working. Here we have it. I think it's working. Let me quickly do that. To paste the URL here on YouTube. But yeah, the application on my phone is working fine. Okay, I right away spotted an issue. I need to reset to null the IDs so that everyone can join with their name. So yeah, now I can do Vadim, here full name, Vadim, login. Okay, here we have it, public, and we can start talking in the public chat. Who is gonna be the first to join, guys? Hey, how is it going with the project? It's actually very good. We are almost done for today. Just a moment to give you access to the application. Here it is. You can access this application in Expo Go by following the link that I just dropped in the chat, or by scanning this QR code. And after that, we can chat. Hey, we see new people there. And we can chat, and we can take pictures. Wait a second. Let's do it like this. So use photo. And in a moment, I'm gonna send it. I already see people here chatting. Everyone have. There are also emojis. How did you find them? I didn't even know that we have that. Is Android hamburger icon is not on Android? The hamburger icon is not visible. That's a good thing to test right now. No usable data found for QR code. You need to have Expo Go application installed on your machine. not machine, on your device, I meant, like on your physical device, you need the Expo Go. And after that, either paste in that URL in Expo Go, or you can simply scan this QR code. I can also publish this project, right? Publishing your project users with Android phone will be able to access your project from our website. Hey, Max Zen, thank you very much for your donation. Zdarova. Hello. So nice to see people contributing and supporting the channel. Is it only for Android? That's weird. So guys, that was everything that I wanted to show you this week. Let's get into some Q&A. If you have any questions related to Stream SDK or related to this project, please let me know. And while you're thinking about your questions, let me thank you once again, Stream, for sponsoring this video and for being all sponsor of this channel multiple times. I really enjoy building chat application with Streams, and on this channel we have built a ton of messaging application. We have done everything ourselves. We have tried Stream, and in a lot of situations, in order to be fast, we had to cut a lot of features when doing it ourselves. So in a lot of situations, we didn't have a lot of features. Then we did the signal clone, which I wanted to do like very, very in depth. But that project took around 8 videos with more than 35 hours of live stream coding. And we didn't come any close to what the Stream is providing us by default, with everything here like out of the box. So when building an application, it's good to think like if you want to build the technology yourself, or if you want to leverage the technology that already exists and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Because yeah, like reinventing the wheel is very expensive, and like you don't have to do it. It will not define your project. It will not define your company or your startup. What actually will define your project and startup, and what will lead to success, if you solve actual problems for users. And for example, if you have an application like like an e-commerce application or any other application that the core features and the core of application is not messaging, it's, I don't know, buying, selling, playing a game or something else. And at the same time, you also want to improve a bit the user experience of for your application by providing in-app messaging, real-time messaging. Then in that case, you don't have to invest your own money and resources to build all the infrastructure for the chatting, because that's already done. And we can use it in our project with a very fair price for the time that it saves us. Most importantly, Stream provides a maker account, which is totally free if you qualify for it. And in a lot of situations, like especially for projects that are just getting started, you will qualify for the maker account. And like, if I'm not mistaken, let me double check. Not StreamYard. The maker account. Where is it? It's here somewhere. Come on. Okay, that's not the point. So guys, I'm thinking this is a very good beginning for us to get started and build this Discord clone of messaging. What do you think? Should we continue next week to implement a lot more management tools in our application now that we have almost all the UI ready. And here I'm talking about having the ability to invite users to your channels, having the ability to create a new channel, having the ability to, for example, do a private message, or to kick a user, ban a user, and all of these things that are very important for having this application almost production ready. What do you think? Should we do it? If yes, smash the subscribe button and write down in the comments something that will let me know that you want part 2 of this video. I'm not sure if we're gonna do. I cannot promise, because I'm working a lot on the course nowadays and doing YouTube at the same time. Like it's very difficult for me in terms of time. But if a lot of people will want the second part, where we will implement all the management tools for our Discord clone, I'm gonna think about it and maybe we're gonna do it. So now back to our questions. Do we have any questions? Your videos are amazing. Thank you. Tiago, thank you very much. Will you support this project after finishing it? I don't plan to. I don't know. I don't plan to. But maybe. We'll see. So people started already playing with the GIFs, as I see. Someone not in the YouTube chat, but in our custom build chat is asking, can we build a React Native plus Node Mongo real-time clone? Please, it would be really great. Not sure. I cannot promise for the next future. Maybe later we will do it. I definitely want to expand to other technologies as well, especially Node and Mongo, that I've been working so much with these exact technologies. The only issue is that, like, I worked with them. I enjoy working with them. I see the value, but the barrier to entry and, like, at the same time having easier solutions to build and to accomplish the same, like, is the idea. That's why I'm on the fence with that. I have done a Node.js with MongoDB tutorial on the channel. You can have a look at it. Yeah, it's there. We've done it already. All right, let me switch my mouse. I enjoy this season. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Can one have a custom backend with this? Yes, definitely. You can connect your custom backend with the Stream SDK users by simply, where is it? In the sign up screen, by simply sending here a token that was generated by your backend. You can connect them. Another thing is that the Stream SDK works on backend as well. So if you want to, for example, create a user from the backend, that's also possible. If you want to automatically add a new user to some channels, that's also possible. There is an SDK for Node.js and for a lot of other technologies that will support communicating server to server, your server with Stream Chat SDK server. So yes, it's possible. Can we make a video on automating like Fastlane Circle CI? That's a very good topic. Like someday in future we're gonna get there. I don't know, like every answer that I'm giving is someday in future, because at the moment, like, my mind is all in the course. And in the course, yes, we are doing CI/CD. So didn't started it yet, didn't reach it, but I'm planning to do it very soon. So yeah. Is it a privacy concern when we add a lot of dependencies? Well, here, it depends. It depends to what data do you allow the dependencies to use. Because in our situation, we give Stream SDK a lot of data, but they they have a lot of compliance in place specifically for this. So if I can check it here, yeah, compliance, like they're compliant with HIPAA, which is specifically for developing application for healthcare, and being compliant with HIPAA allows other companies to use Stream SDK in order to develop a health application. It is compliant with GDPR and others that I do not know. ISO this, I think, is for security, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, like you need to double check like how the tools that you are using are managing and handling your data. In some situation, this is very important. And in a lot of use cases, there are very strict rules. Like, I don't know, if you're developing a health application, like managing, storing, and doing everything related to the health data of users is a very regulated industry. And in that situation, you need to be, for example, this HIPAA compliant. So yeah, it depends from application to application. Yes, let's continue adding more features. Let's go. Yes, please continue with Discord part. Hey Vadim, are you still active on Discord? I'm trying, but like the time doesn't allow me to be as active as I would like to be. So there is Momo there that is trying to help as much as possible. So he's responsible for the Discord. Momo, say hi in the chat. Hey, just wondering how reliable is building chat application yourself versus using chat providers like Sandbird. So like my idea to like the decision flow that I would follow in order to decide whether to do it ourselves or to use a tool is kind of simple. Like, if messaging is not the core of your business, which in 99% of the times messaging is not the core of your business, and having messaging at the core of your business, here I'm talking about WhatsApp, here I'm talking about Facebook Messenger, iMessages, whatever tools have like specifically messaging. Even Discord has like the messaging at its core. And in that situation, like, it makes sense to invest in your infrastructure if you want to compete with the big leaders. However, like, there are companies, like very big companies, that are using Stream SDK for their applications. So, for example, Adobe or SoundCloud. Like, let's check. Like, is the SoundCloud.com, like, do they have somewhere here the chatting, or how does it work? Probably you talk with, I don't know, where is the chatting here? Oh, no, comments. These are comments. But that's interesting. Like, SoundCloud is using them, eToro. So in this case, eToro, their main business is not messaging, period. Like, they don't have to invest their resources in developing their own infrastructure. And not only developing, here I'm talking about maintaining as well, because maintenance is actually the most cost ineffective, or like the most money are spent on maintaining rather than on developing. And they decided to use Stream SDK to implement their chatting features, because they focus on trading and stocks. That's it. Masterclass, this is Strava, Crunchbase. Very hoping Very big companies are using Stream SDK. It's crazy. They have over 1 billion end users. So most probably you have already used the stream chat. You just didn't know that you're using them. But I am pretty sure that like 90% of the users here that are watching this live stream have once used the Stream Chat SDK. As a user, I mean, not as a developer. Oh, interesting questions. What others do we have here? I missed it this time. When it will be available to watch? Right after we finish it. But I think you can still watch right now just by going back. Vadim, do you plan on making native project not using Expo? Here I can say definitely no. No and no. I didn't have a good experience developing native application, not for Android and not for iOS. So no. After you go React Native route, like there is no way back. Great content, thanks for educating. Thank you very much for being here. Which framework is good for beginners as an app developers, which is easy to pick up? Interesting. I don't know, to be honest. For beginners. Like if you have some experience with React.js, then definitely go with React Native route because it's going to be easier for you to get there. But if you're a complete beginner, I don't know. Someone is saying Expo is really beginner friendly. Like, yeah, like if you go React Native route, definitely start with Expo. Like, don't even think about starting with React Native CLI when you're just getting started. Build a couple of projects, try out things, and when you get comfortable, then you can get into React Native CLI. And it's nothing different. It's just you have to set up more things on your machine to use React Native CLI. With Expo, you just install it globally, initialize a project, open, work, and that's it. Okay. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining today's live stream. And if you found this live stream valuable and if you learned something new today, please subscribe to the channel because this helps me a lot and helps the channel grow. Yeah, let me know down in the description below if you'd like us to build the Discord part 2, where we will implement more features, more management features of creating channels, adding members to the channels, sending private messages, and a lot more features that we can develop there. So I'm waiting your responses, and I hopefully will see you next Friday. No, actually, next Friday we have a very important live stream. So be here, be ready, be motivated, write clean code, stay hydrated. And today is Friday, and I'm out. Bye.